Time for Big Pete.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Big Pete. It's been a long old time since I sat down and chatted bollocks about football. Hang on a minute. It's been nearly 2 years. I've not made one since my predictions video for the 1920 season. God. Well, that probably means that if you're watching this, you're new here. If not, then fair fucking play. Show more dedication this channel probably deserves. But if you are, please do subscribe below, it helps massively. And I should also mention, I just made a video with BBC Sesh about what it means to support your country and what significance accents have, if any. So yeah, I'll leave that in the description below if you're interested. But now the faff's out of the way, let's get on with it. Let's get on with the predictions. Starting off with Wales's group, Group A. Now, if we were going off who had the best flag, it'd be a no contest. Because nothing can compete, of course, with the first aid symbol of Switzerland. Anyway, gotta say, I'm not feeling very confident about this group or my predictions for this video or the tournament in general. Don't get me wrong, I'm so excited for these Euros. It's the second time in my life Wales have qualified for a major tournament, so I am buzzing from that, but I'm really not feeling very confident about it. I think I'll go on a little tangent here, why not? I think it comes down to mainly, I was listening to Ellis James's Feast of Football, and Danny Gavadon was talking about basically how since Chris Coleman left, we've not really had a style of play and identity. We've sort of been stuck in limbo because, you know, we had that five at the back system, you know, Gareth Bale up front, where it was very defensive, and that suited us. We had the momentum going into that tournament. This tournament, we don't really have that. I actually think our squad is a lot superior now to what it was in 2016, but we're sort of, like I say, stuck in limbo a little bit. We've got Rob Page as our manager, and you know, recently we've been playing five at the back. I really don't like that. I'll leave my team like here, who I would play, and I think, you know, sort of four at the back would have a lot more dynamism. Playing five at the back, I think, I get it. It means teams can't run at you, and you know you're less sort of leaky at the back, but because you know it's difficult to overwhelm the defence. But I think that leaves open spaces in midfield, and I think we saw that in the playoff final with Swansea, where the final few months of the season Swansea switched to a 4-3-3. And sort of were creating more chances. I mean, not many, but you know, we weren't creating many chances over the course of the season. Really, our success was built on the defence, which started with the five at the back, but that stopped working. We switched to a four. We were creating more chances going into the playoffs, and in the semis we got through playing four at the back. And then for the final, we switched to five at the back for the first 20 minutes. Switched back to it, and I think that just played so much into Brentford's hands. And I think that would be the case as well in this tournament if we do play five at the back, because there's open spaces in front of that flat five at the back. Then, you know, we saw it with the first goal, sort of leading up to the penalty for Brentford. They're able to have sort of open spaces in midfield, play around us, and sort of thread passes through the defence, and it gives them too much sort of control midfield. And I think we have a better squad than a lot of the teams in this tournament, you know, including Turkey and Switzerland, and yeah, Italy are better than us, but I don't even think they're all that. So I think we could actually attack and pose problems to these teams, like Swansea could have done with Brentford, but like, you know, after 20 minutes, Swansea switched to a back four. And for the rest of the 70 minutes, Brentford offered no threat. Obviously, they didn't have to. They were winning 2-0 by that point. But I think it just showed that first 20 minutes was so stupid because it played right into their hands. They were able to dominate the midfield and have so much space in the midfield. And I think that could happen this tournament if we do play a flat back line. Like I said, the team that I showed up had a lot more dynamism. I think we've got exciting attacking players. Like that front line of, yeah, Kiefer Moore is a championship striker, but he could pose serious problems to a lot of these teams in this tournament. And Gareth Bale, you know, say what you like about him, got 13 goals this season or something like that, 13 assists, which is more than Cavani, best minutes per goal ratio in the league. You know, people chat rubbish about him because, I don't know, if he was English that wouldn't happen. But anyway, you know, he's still one of the best players in the world. I don't care what you say. And, you know, Dan James, okay, yeah, people like to make him out like he's a meme, but he's still a Man United player. Like, we do have a lot of quality up front. David Brooks as well, Aaron Ramsey plays for Juventus. You know, there's a lot of attacking threat. And if we played like a 4-2-3-1, there wouldn't be as many open spaces in the midfield. Yeah, maybe our defence would be more exposed, but I back our defence. Joe Rodon, Benka Bango in centre-back, you know, I have confidence in them. Connor Roberts, you know, going forward, he's probably better than he is defending, but he's still a top quality right back in my opinion, Premier League level. Ben Davies as well. So yeah, I mean, I think if we played the 4-2-3-1, it would allow us to express ourselves more, have more dynamism going forward, and we could pose more problems. And I think that, listen, it's going to come down to that first game. I think that's so important. A lot of people have seen predicting us to finish third. I think that's rubbish. Absolute nonsense. Because I think if we get a positive result in that first game, which I have us predicting here, even though I'm not confident, it gives us momentum in the last two games where we probably only need 1 point from the last two games to finish second. But if we don't get a positive result in that, we have no momentum, and Turkey and Italy will be tougher games for us. And I can't see us finishing anywhere other than fourth, really, if we don't get a positive result in that first game. So I think it's going to come down to, I do have us winning that. I'm not confident about that, but I've got to be optimistic, so I have Wales finishing second here. On to Group B. I mean, you never know in international tournaments, but this does feel like the easiest group to predict. I think there's no doubt about who's finishing top and who's finishing bottom. I suppose the one interesting factor is going to come down to probably match day 3, seeing Russia and Denmark, and I think, obviously, those are the two countries in this group hosting games. And I think, yeah, we've seen that across most of the groups. Some groups only have one team hosting it, like Group A, but most of them have two. And I think the fact that Denmark, you know, the game between Russia and Denmark is going to be in Denmark could prove pivotal, because I think there isn't actually that much between them. But I back sort of the experience of Denmark. They did quite well, I think, in the last tournament, and they got a good spine. And I back them to at home in match day 3 to get over the line against Russia and finish second. But that's probably the only interesting game in this group, really, because it feels like I say, the easiest to predict. Right then, Group C. I think the Netherlands and Austria will be favourites, finishing the top 2 in this group, and I think they'll both get off to narrow wins. I think a high-scoring Ukraine team, managed by the equally prolific Andriy Shevchenko, will go under the radar a bit, and I think they'll get a comfortable victory in match day 2, while Netherlands and Austria play out a tight draw. And I think in the final match day, Austria are going to have their pants pulled down by Ukraine. See Ukraine leapfrog Austria in second place. Tasty. Now this is a delicious group. Obviously I have a bit of history with this fixture, as I got a lot of love from Croatian fans after I reacted to them beating England in 2018. Hvala vam Hrvatska. I got to say, I don't like the way the stadium's been decided for this tournament. It doesn't seem right that only England and Scotland get to host games in this group. And it also definitely doesn't seem right that England are hosting the game against Scotland. What's that all about? Big country bias. But I do think the top 3 from this group should all qualify. Unlike Wales, I think Scotland have a nice amount of momentum going to this tournament, and I think I can see them going far. They're juicy dark horses for sure. For sure. Group E! This one feels impossible to predict. Spain are one of the lesser big nations for me going into this tournament. Don't get me wrong, they'll play some great stuff and I expect them to get far, but I don't know, they don't seem as good as they once were. Whereas the smaller nations all seem to be on a similar level to me. I won't lie, I know less about Slovakia and Sweden than I do Poland. Poland have a lot of quality players, but I feel like they flattered to deceive. Look, Lewandowski is probably the best striker in the world, but he needs the service, I think, and Poland don't really offer that. And I just, I fancy Sweden for some reason. I fancy them to squeak past Poland to get a win against Slovakia, to see them finish second. On to the final group, Group F, the group of death. Also, they say France are a cut above, and I'd be surprised to see them drop any points in this group. I think the story of match day 1 is going to be France ripping Germany a new arsehole in Munich. I expect Portugal to not get as much attention as they pick up 2 wins from their first 2. But I could see France having a bit of a squeaky bum time situation in Hungary against Hungary. Maybe they go 2-0 up and they get a bit ahead of themselves after their Munich rout, and then Hungary get a late goal on Fridays with a bit of fun or something. I can see that happening, but I still think France will win that game. And I expect them to bounce back in match day 3 and get revenge for the 2016 final. But will that revenge be a bit premature? We'll see. I expect France to finish top, Portugal second, Germany third, and Hungary fourth. So this is how my groups ended up looking. Now this is where it gets interesting. I can actually pick the 4 best third place teams based on the score predictions I've given, rather than just picking the 4 teams I like the best or whatever. Austria and Scotland both got 4 points. So they're through, while the other one's got 3 points. So it's going to go down to goal difference. So let's work this out. Turkey got 0 goal difference because they drew all their games. Russia got +1 goal difference, so they're above Turkey. Poland also got a 0 goal difference after drawing all their games. And Germany have a -4 goal difference. So Germany are out and Russia are through. But Turkey and Poland both are on 3 points. Both have a 0 goal difference and both have scored as many goals. So I'm not too sure how I'm going to decide this. Flip of a coin, I think. Why not? Have a coin. Got a £1 coin. Still comes in handy for trolleys, that's about it. Anyway. Right. What should we say then? Turkey, Poland. How am I going to decide who's heads and who's tails? T, Turkey. So Turkey are heads and Poland are tails. Makes sense, really. Heads. What did I just say? Turkey are heads, Turkey are through. Turkey are through. So, bye-bye Poland, Germany. Hard luck, really. Continue! Right. Now, this is where it gets juicy. Okay, how am I going to do this? Bit of a zoom out job, is it? Oh, bit more, maybe? That's too much. That is too far. What am I playing at? Belgium, Turkey. In the last 16 game. All that, Turkey going through on a flip of a coin, just to immediately crash out to Belgium. So that faff was for nothing. Belgium are through to the quarterfinals. I just think they're too strong going forward. Turkey have a good defence, but the amount of sheer quality Belgium have at the back, and I don't think Turkey, I mean, they have some good players. I think Çalhanoğlu is going to be available. Yeah, he's available for the tournament. But that's not the right threat, really, to attack Belgium. Their defence is their weakest point of the team, but those sort of flair players, those number 10s, aren't going to do them as much damage as, say, some of the more quality teams in this tournament with their pacey forwards. Italy, Ukraine. God, this is actually, and it sounds really one-sided. It sounds like Italy are definitely going to win, but I wouldn't rule out Ukraine to pull off an upset here. Underrated team. I'm going to go for Italy. I do think they have too much quality for Ukraine, but I expect this to be high scoring, 3-2 or something like that. Maybe 2-1, 2-2, maybe Italy win on penalties or something. It's not as one-sided as it seems to me, this one. France, Austria. Now this is 5-0 for me. Austria have absolutely no chance. Croatia, Sweden. This is a nice one, really. It's a nice game. I think I can see Croatia winning comfortably, but Sweden have done themselves absolutely no harm. I think they've given good account of themselves in this tournament. Croatia through. Right, on to the second half of the draw. Tasty. There's a lot of good teams in there. This is going to be... look at how juicy this is. England, Scotland, and Wales all on their side of the draw. Anyway, starting off with Spain, Russia. Russia. I think Spain could be under threat in the early rounds of the knockout stages, but Russia just aren't the team to do it. So I do expect Spain to go through there. England, Portugal. England are going to win their group, and are they going to crash out here? See, it was clever of Croatia to finish second. It was tactical, because then they got Sweden while England get Portugal. It's genius from them. They did it on purpose. England to crash out. I'm sorry, you can't not back Portugal here. The amount of sheer quality they have going forward. Sort of since Euro 2016, the rise of Bruno Fernandes, Diogo Jota, you can't look past them. Right, Netherlands, Scotland. Do you know? No Van Dijk. And the pride of Scotland going forward, their first tournament in ages. Was it 98, their last one? So first one in my lifetime. I'm not ruling out Scotland here to pull off an upset. Netherlands do have a really strong midfield, but that's about it for me. Don't get me wrong, they have some good defenders. De Ligt, De Vrij, or whatever his name is. The Fridge. But, do you know, it's exciting. Go Scotland. Why not? Why not? I fancy them. I do. I really fancy them in this tournament. I like the manager. Che Adams been called up. I think he's a top player and he could cause problems in a tournament. And I think they have the right attitude for it. This is what I'm worried about with Wales. Whether we have the right attitude going into these games. We just express ourselves and gave it all. Look, don't get me wrong. The fact that if we go out, there's disappointment there. It's a testament to how far we've come in the last decade or so. But I think there's an opportunity for us, if we express ourselves, to go far in this tournament. And I feel like Scotland are more likely to do that than us. But anyway, on to Wales now. Wales, Denmark. See, if we finish second here in our group, look at it. It really sets ourselves up nicely for the knockout stages. If we finish third, who finished third in our group? It was Turkey, and they crashed out, didn't they? Yeah. Belgium, we'd have no chance. Wow. Or would we? 2016. No, Denmark, I back us. I think we're better than Denmark. Quarterfinals, look at that last one. All right, let's start off with Belgium, Italy. Again, I think this favours Belgium a little bit. I think they definitely have weaknesses that can be exposed, but I don't think Turkey or Italy are the teams to do it. Like I say, I think Italy... The name of that country, you expect Italy to be a top team. I think this is probably the last few years been one of the worst Italy sides in a very long time. I think they're on the up a little bit now. I do like a lot of their players, but I just don't think they have enough about them. Beyond past Plan A, do they have enough to sort of expose teams like Belgium? I don't think so. I'm going to go Belgium here. France, Croatia. A repeat of the 2018 World Cup final. Can Croatia get their revenge? I'd love them to, but you can't look past France. France favourites for the tournament. You can see why. They've just got quality everywhere. They could probably put out 3 first 11s that would beat anyone in the world, probably. So as much as I'd love Croatia to go through, I do back France in that game. Spain, Portugal. God, this is a good game. This is a good game. And as much as I think Spain will play nice stuff and they're the sort of team who, as a team, they're better than the individuals, I think. Whereas sort of 10 years ago, there's so many world-class players. They don't really have that anymore, Spain, but whereas Portugal do. I think Portugal are a better side. Spain could still win this. I wouldn't put it past them, but I'm going to go Portugal. Scotland, Wales. What a game. What a quarter final. Can you believe the drama? It's tasty. It is sexy. I have to say it's sexual. We have to say it. Say it as we see it. Scotland, Wales in a quarter final. Oh. Listen, I've said it the whole video. I like Scotland's momentum coming into this tournament a lot more than Wales. They have that pride going. They're playing the right way. They're playing to their strengths. Wales definitely aren't. We're a better team than Scotland. There's no denying that we have better players. But if I'm being honest, I can't knock us out against Scotland. Come on. Gareth Bale, Aaron Ramsey. We should win this game. Look, I'm going to go for Wales, but it would not surprise me to see Scotland get it to a semi-final in this tournament. It really wouldn't. Right, on to the semi-finals. I can't believe we're back in a semi-final against Portugal. It's fantastic. All right, Belgium, France, right. Now, listen, I've been saying it the whole time about Belgium's weaknesses that can be exposed. France are the team to do it. They have everything in that game, really. Belgium's defense. Look, Belgium actually have more quality, I think, in their team. It's very similar. France have a wider range of better players, but I think there are a few players in that Belgium team who are better than the French players, but at the back, they're not good enough, and France are. They are. I back France to win this game comfortably, to be honest. Back in a final again. Wow. Right, this feels familiar, doesn't it? Portugal v Wales in a semi-final to decide who faces France in a Euro final. I'm just not original, am I? Boring. It's the same thing every time. Anyway, Portugal, Wales, right. Portugal are a far better team than they were when they faced us in 2016, but so are Wales. And I think if we get this far into the tournament, which I keep saying we're not going to do, but if we do, then the momentum is there that I'm saying we don't have at the moment. The momentum would have built up by this point. And I think, like I said, if we play 4-2-3-1, play to our strengths, express ourselves, play some attacking football, Gareth Bale, Aaron Ramsey, Kiefer Moore, Dan James, Di Brooks, Joe Allen, Ethan Ampadu, Connor Roberts, I think we could do it, you know. We could shock the world. I'm going Wales. Right, I've just been sat staring at my screen in silence for about a minute, looking at what I've just done. After this whole video, talking about Wales potentially not finishing bottom of their group, and now I've put us in the final. Beating Portugal, who for me... Before I sat down to do this video, I was having Portugal win it, and I was going to say France would beat them in the group, and then that would be revenge for 2016, but it would be too premature, and then in the final, the same thing would happen. Portugal would beat France, but now I'm just sitting here, and I've made them lose to Wales, so... France-Wales in the final. But I'm sticking with it. France-Wales in the final. Okay, come on. France-Wales. Now, we've just had a friendly, we've seen it, and to be honest, before the red card, Wales were doing very well. We were doing okay. France hadn't scored yet. For me, it was never a red card. Whether it was a penalty or not, maybe. But he missed it anyway. The red card completely changed that game. Listen, it was a friendly. It was just, getting players up to speed before the tournament. Shouldn't take too much notice of the result. But there wasn't actually that much in the game. Listen, France have an abundance of quality. Wales don't. We have some quality. More than More than you'd expect. Enough to get out of the group anyway, but whether or not we do that is a different story. But listen, like I say, if we do get out of the group, we will build momentum in these rounds. Because if we finish second, it's not an impossible run to the final. Denmark, Scotland, Portugal. Yes, Portugal. It might be impossible, but I've said Wales are going to win. I'm sticking with that. France, on the other hand, Portugal could get at France. Could we get at France? I mean, you never know in a final. A red card, an own goal, something stupid, Zinedine Zidane headbutting someone. It could happen again. Kante, you never know. He's reckless. He's got to headbutt a Wales player. Wales are going to win on penalties. It's happening. Champions of Europe. Can you believe it? I mean, look at it. It is sexy. What have I just done? Fantastic. Look, I believe it. I believe it's going to happen now. I came into this video feeling quite... I mean, I was going to have an optimistic prediction, but I felt pessimistic. I wasn't feeling very confident. But after picking the results, predicting it, Wales are going to win. I'm sure of it now. It's happening. Wales are going to win the European Championship. It's happening. Look how it does look beautiful. At Wembley as well. At Wembley. It's happening. It's happening. Oh my God. Kante is reckless. He's going to cost France. I'm telling you. Okay, everybody, I won't keep you any longer. Thank you so much for watching my predictions. Look, whatever happens, I'm just so happy Wales are in another major tournament, and even if we finish bottom of the group, lose every game, I'll be happy. It is, you know, the golden era of Welsh football history, and I'm living in it, so I'm aware of that. And as much as I'd love to see us get out of the group, and I feel like we probably should, even if we don't win it, oh well, I won't be too crushed. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like I say. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and remember to check out the BBC Sesh video I made in the description below. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon!
Check it. One day I went to Lidl. I went to shoplift in Lidl. Then I got caught in Lidl. Now I don't go back to Lidl.